As a young boy, I used to spend quite a bit of time at my grandmother's house on the weekends, uh, playing with siblings and cousins and other family members, being mischievous, doing things that young boys do, which usually meant getting in trouble. Sometimes I would get in trouble, and my grandmother would ask me, "What? Why did you do that? What did you do? Give me a reason." And I would usually have a reason. And usually, when I had a reason, I didn't get disciplined. But there were other times where my grandmother would ask those questions of me, and I wouldn't have an immediate response to give her. Thus, I received immediate discipline. And I would ask my grandmother why she would do that. And my grandmother would always tell me, silence is a symbol of truth. So when I ask a question of you, did you do that? And you get silent, you become silent, you're letting me know the truth. And that perplexed me for quite some time. Silence is a symbol of truth. But she told me this over and over and over again. So I always found that intriguing. And another thing that she would say to me is she would say, why can't you be still? Why can't you sit down? Why can't you just be alone with your thoughts in silence? I would say, I don't know. I want to get out and hang outside. I want to watch TV. I want to play video games. I want to talk on the phone. I want to do something. And she would say, that is the problem. If I put you in a room full of light, but full of complete silence, you would lose your mind. You would treat the light as if it were darkness. That's what silence does to people. And as an adult, I've seen this actually happen. They have this chamber in Minnesota. It's called the Anaholic Chamber. You can look it up online. It is the quietest room on earth. And you can actually pay to go into this room. And the challenge for individuals once they pay to go into this room is to stay in this room in complete silence for over an hour. And if I'm correct, I believe the longest time that someone has stayed in this room is 45 minutes. Something like that. But the point is that the silence eventually gets to you, right? Because silence forces you to have to listen to your own thoughts. It forces you to listen to your own regrets, your own shortcomings. It forces you to think of all the things that you haven't done and all the things that you dreamed of doing and all of your fallacies and imperfections and your flaws. See, when silence happens to you and your thoughts and you are left alone in a room, what usually happens from my vantage point is that our thoughts conquer us. And instead of being conquered, we get up. Instead of facing our fallacies and our imperfections and our flaws, we get up and we leave the room and we look for a white noise. We look for the television, the cell phone, the laptop, the desktop, the tablet, um, something to distract us. We look for the nightclub or friends or a party. We try to find something to distract us from the silence that is. However, I feel that if we as individuals became comfortable with silence, we would then become comfortable with ourselves. Once we learn to conquer our thoughts and our fears and our regrets and our fallacies and our imperfections and our flaws, once we learn to conquer our weaknesses and turn our weaknesses into strengths to further strengthen us internally and externally, until one can do that, I do not feel that one can fully reach the peaks of success. However, I feel that everybody has the innate capacity to reach the full peaks of their greatness and success. If we learned to use silence as a tool instead of fearing the silence, it would make us better fathers, husbands, spouses. It would make us better people, better individuals in society, which would ultimately benefit you in terms of success, because you would be able to be comfortable building a network with any and everyone. Your spirit would be so free, right? You would be so confident and brewing with peace and joy that you would exude happiness in its walking form, right? Happiness would then become tangible for you because you would become that. And by becoming that, you would seek out happiness at all costs, which means you would seek out your success, because their success tends to be what they feel will make them happy. So you would be on a constant conquest for your success on a daily basis, right? To reach your full happiness, to reach the peak of your happiness and your success and your greatness. So I think that we need to learn to nurture the silence and mold our thoughts and embrace our failures and shortcomings and fallacies and imperfections, because then we become truthful with ourselves. And once one learns to be truthful with themselves, they'll become truthful with their goals. They'll create realistic goals, and realistic expectations will sprout from that truth, right? And so when we have realistic goals and realistic aspirations, right, and we start to reach them, we continue to be happy while we're climbing the ladder of success. So I've experienced silence, and it changed me, to be honest with you. When I was able to be still and I was forced to listen to my thoughts for 4 months of it, maybe 5, for me it was complete hell. And around the 6th month, I was on house arrest during this time. And around the 6th month, I started to learn how to listen to and embrace silence and find the beauty in silence, right? And it made me a more peaceful person. It made me a happier person. It made me a more truthful and honest person in all aspects of my life, especially in terms of my goals and my success and what was attainable and the timetables in which I could attain certain things. All of these things started to make sense to me. And my weaknesses, all of a sudden, I started to train myself in those areas, and they became strengths, which innately made me stronger. It made me stronger internally and externally, mentally, physically, emotionally. And it made me a better person. I think that everybody has the ability to do this if we stop fearing the silence, if we stop fearing our thoughts during the silence, and instead we embrace it and we learn from it. That's my message for today. So I know you can't see me. In essence, that was the entire point. So I hope you enjoyed the message. I hope you stay tuned in to me. Iambic7 Facebook, Iambic7 for Instagram, or at Iambic7 on Instagram, at Atlas3845. You can follow me on YouTube at I Am My Brother's Guardian. Remember, my name is D'Angelo. The last name is Little, but I hope I left you much more than that. Have a great night. God bless. And remember, Iambic7. It's more than a hashtag. It's a lifestyle. God bless.